Hey, what is up, guys? It is Astral Paladin coming at you with another deck profile here today. And before I get into this deck profile, I wanted to talk to you guys about the name change. Really quick, it used to be Jaden Yuki or Gaga Xyz 2000. I changed the name just because Jaden Yuki was too, obviously that's a Yu-Gi-Oh character name. And this isn't a Yu-Gi-Oh channel realistically anymore. And two, it's just I feel like I needed a more original name, and Gaga Xyz 2000 was a little too hard to try to get across to people. But yeah, so finally I do have an original name, Astral Paladin. That is what I will be going by now, and definitely look forward to having the new name. So without further ado, I'm just gonna get right into this deck profile. So, if you guys don't know what this is my Nova Grappler God Hand deck profile. I do have a few different choices, I think, than what other people do, and I will explain why I have made those choices. Also, at the time of this recording, my Genesis Astral Plane deck has reached 1,000 views. Just wanted to say thank you to everyone who watched that. Thank you for getting me over 100 subscribers. It's really, really awesome, and I hope to keep the channel going after that. So without further ado, let's just get right into this deck profile. So first things first, the only gift I ever use is Excel 2. The reason why is because, you know, obviously this deck is literally just Oonga Booga get front triggers. So your rear guards are going to be pretty powerful on their own. Excel 1 will do absolutely nothing, and you discard quite a lot in this deck, sometimes more than you actually would like. And so Excel 2 just gives you that extra draw and will definitely help you out. First of all, grade 3s. The only grade 3 that I run, of course, is for Fighting Fist Dragon, God Hand Dragon. He's the only grade 3 that I run. I only run 4 grade 3s. Backups, I could run Illuminal Dragon or that other rear guard that can drive check. I could run those. I just feel like running just the 4 God Hand Dragon is actually enough. I see him actually for a Nova Grappler deck. I see this guy quite often. I don't think there's been a game where I've had to actually ever G-assist, really. For some reason, he just is kind of always there. It's really weird, actually. Meanwhile, I'm in my Genesis deck. Sometimes I can't find a grade 3 for some reason. But anyways, he has the ability on Vanguard Circle. The power of your front triggers during your drive check is increased by 10,000. So then he's got a Vanguard ability that when he attacks, you counterblast 1 and discard a card from your hand. He gains a drive check, or he gets an extra drive check, and then if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, he gains an extra crit as well. So definitely, front triggers will be 20k just with this guy's effect on his own, not counting for any of your other rear guards that boost it. Also, he is just a really good card combined with Gun Trooper Clefs. You can just create a bunch of drive checks and create a bunch of powerful rear guards that can hopefully stomp out your opponent. So really, really cool guy. Definitely a 4 of, obviously. Some people can play the backups. I kind of wanted to keep the deck centralized around him, being that he's just like the cornerstone of the deck, and I just wanted to kind of keep it around him. I've seen people play Azure Dragon. I really didn't want to include a whole ton of Beast Deity support. I wanted to keep it God Hand centric, just for the fun aspect of it. So definitely 4 God Hand Dragon, and that is it for the grade 3s. Moving on to the grade 2s. I run 4 copies of Fusing Striker. Fusing Striker basically has the ability similar to God Hand Dragon. He's got the ability that your front trigger, on Van or rear also, so it works on Van or rear. The power of your front triggers during your drive check is increased by 5,000. So God Hand increases it by 10,000, and this guy increases it by 5,000. And they stack, so if you have multiple copies, it's 5,000 per copy of Fusing Striker. Then he's got the ability on Van or rear. When placed, you check the top 5 cards of your deck for a copy of God Hand Dragon. If you find one, you can add it to your hand, and if you put a card into your hand, then you have to discard a card. Sometimes you don't want to use the ability because either if you put a God Hand into your hand, you sometimes have to discard a card, and this deck is very combo heavy. Just because, well, you know what? I wouldn't even say it's really combo heavy, but you need a lot of, you know, rear guards to fill those circles, especially with Kick Typhoon having to have your whole front row full to activate his ability. You definitely want those rear guards full, and so sometimes discarding a card isn't the best, but you know what? It keeps the card balanced, and it's not too horrible. So, but I do like this card. And you know, it's definitely a staple because he searches out God Hand Dragon, which is awesome. The next card that I play are 4 copies of Stylish Hustler. And the reason why is because right now I'm only playing 2 Kick Kick Typhoon. Obviously, I should be playing 4. I just haven't found another 2 yet. If I found another 2, I would take out 2 Stylish Hustler, definitely. But for right now, I'm playing the 4 Stylish Hustler, which isn't too bad. Definitely awesome against like decks like Kagero or anything really that retires, because basically when anything's retired by an effect of your opponent's card, he can Soul Blast 1, and that thing that was retired moves to the hand. So it's really cool. Plus he gains 3k for each card in your damage zone. So definitely really good card. Kick Kick Typhoon, pretty explanatory. When placed on an additional rearguard or vanguard circle, you can give anything on your field +5. And then when he attacks, if all of your front row rear guards are filled, you can counterblast 1 and stand one of your rear guards, which is really cool because you can combine it with my last grade 2 Odd Puncher Selnoin. He has the ability on van or rear, when your drive check reveals a front trigger, he gains a crit. So not only will your front triggers make this thing big as fuck, but this guy can help restand it, so you can have just a restanding crit, you know, double crit attacker. So which is really awesome. So definitely another reason why you'd want to run 4 Kick Kick Typhoon, is so that you can double your chances of restanding this guy that will probably have a crit every time you pull a front trigger during a drive check. So I mean, it's a once per turn effect, but you guys know what I mean. Whenever you get a front trigger. So also, if you have 2 on the field, they will each get a crit when you reveal a front trigger. So yeah, really cool. That is it for the grade 2s. I run 13, right? 4, 8, 10, 13, yeah. So moving on to the grade 1s, I run 4 Starfighter Silver Fist. He's also got the ability similar to Fusing Striker. Your drive trigger fronts are increased by 5,000 on van or rear. And then he has a skill on Vanguard. When his attack hits, you draw a card and then discard a card. It was really close. They really almost had it with the effect. They gave the automatic, like it's almost like Sable Dragonute. They gave that same effect, that's Dragonute effect, to a Nubatama card in the same set as this, but this guy got it a little worse. He's draw a card and discard a card, which I kind of get it, but like also I feel like it would have been just fine if it was just draw a card, because a lot of clans are getting that. And I don't think it would be too broken if this guy just got draw a card, because sometimes you don't even want to use it because the cards you have in your hand are actually really good, and it's not even really worth it. So the next grade 1 that I run are 4 Grit Bangle. Grit Bangle is literally just probably the most broken grade 1. He's a common, and he says when placed, you can put a front trigger from your hand on top of your deck. Simple as that. No cost or anything. You just literally just put a front trigger on top of your deck, which is really awesome because it can guarantee you a front with God Hand, and it's just really cool. So, and if you call multiples, you can stack multiple fronts. Literally just stacking fronts. It's awesome. Next grade 1 that I run is 4 Guntrooper Clefs. Guntrooper Clefs has the ability that on rear guard, when your draft check reveals a normal unit, if your Vanguard is Fighting Fist Dragon, God Hand Dragon, you can counterblast 1, he retires himself, and your Vanguard gains an extra drive check. Right? Yeah? Extra drive? Yeah. So if you have multiple copies of this card, let's just say you have 2 copies of this guy on rear guard, and your drive check is a normal unit, they can both go off, and your Vanguard will get two extra drive checks. So it's really cool. Because sometimes that extra drive check could be a heal or even another front. So it's really awesome. And then the last grade 1 that I play is, listen to me when I say this, it's 4 of the grade 1 PG. You know, I have the you know, the draw PGs. It's not a big deal. You know, like the reason why, I'll explain why I don't run it, and I'll do that when I get to the grade 0s. So if you can't tell by my grade 1 PGs, for the trigger lineup, I am currently playing 12 fronts. So here's my reason why. Because this deck literally relies on you getting front triggers. If you don't get front triggers, your deck will not be at its full power. So the reason why I would definitely run 12 fronts is just because if you don't get those fronts, your deck kind of just is kind of like a sitting duck, you know. Of course, God Hand Dragon like, and some people will counter with you need draws to draw extra cards because you're discarding so much. Yeah, but at the same time, the goal of the deck is to literally just ride your grade 3 and try to stomp out your opponent from your first grade 3 ride, if not your second. After that, this deck isn't really too good with late game. It's basically very early game, and it's just like, hey, I'm going to ride my God Hand Dragon, stomp you out as quick as I can, and if I don't, then I pretty much lose, because this deck is not good really with defense. It's so good with offense, but defending itself, it's really not that good. But it stomps out so well that it's actually a pretty good deck. And then obviously the last triggers are heal triggers, because I play Vanguard. And then the starter, I play Full Moon Muscle. Another thing that if you guys have it, you guys can try it out. I have tried it recently and it's not bad. But if you guys want to run 4 Razor Custom or high-powered Razor Custom, and then your starter can be Battle Razor. The thing is that when this guy's placed on rear guard, you can call a Battle Razor from your soul to the rear guard. So free real estate, awesome. And so basically he has an ability that when his attack hits, you can take a Battle Razor, put it into your soul, and stand one of your other rear guards. That can be like one of your Selnoins, and you can stand it and it'll have a crit, or it can be literally anything that is boosted by a front. So here's the thing, is that let's just say that you have let's just say that you have a Selnoin on rear guard, and your opponent's definitely going to want to worry about the Selnoin that's powered up by front triggers. Then when this thing attacks, you can put it into your soul, because it's going to be so fucking high by front triggers. You can put it into your soul and stand a Selnoin with a crit. But it has to hit, and it's a counterblast as well. So if you guys want to try that, you definitely can. I have just been using Stylish Hustler just because of the power-up effect that it has. But if you guys want to definitely try this out, it's not a bad combo. It's definitely worth looking into. If you guys have these cards just laying around, they're literally just not expensive at all. And this is a really good combo to try, because just calling that Battle Razor and getting a restand out of it could be really cool, just because your opponent's really not gonna want to worry about this as much as they'll worry about as like a Selnoin or something like that, So it's a really good effect and a really good combo for this deck. So that is it for this deck profile. Any other cards that you want to try for this deck as well, actually, you can try out Gain X2. The reason I don't run Gain X2 is because of the fact that he has to attack, and if you get a front trigger, he restands. I can put so much more time and effort into getting something that will definitely get that, because if you don't get a front trigger, this thing just stays at rest. So I can put my time and effort into things that will already be standing, and I don't have to worry about attacking with this guy first and then attacking with my Vanguard. That's not really the point of the deck. If you guys want to run the drop BGs, a good replacement that's budget is Mike Wazowski here. He basically says when you get a front trigger, he gains plus 10,000, which is really awesome. So he can either be an 18k booster, or he can just be in the front and just be even more powerful. That is a really cool card to play. Something else that you might want to try out is this guy right here. Whenever God Hand Dragon attacks, you can counterblast 1 and draw a card. The only reason I don't run it is because of the fact that if you use Grip Bangle's effect and your front's on the top of the deck, you obviously don't want to draw it. So that's why I really don't want to use that guy. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love this deck. It's super awesome. Just Oonga Boonga, get front triggers, and you win. So it's really fun to play. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe for more. I'm gonna try to do some more fight videos. Again, thank you everybody who liked my Genesis Astral Plane deck profile. I'm probably gonna do a fight video between this and Astral Plane. We'll see who wins. So yeah, thank you guys again, and this is Astral Paladin signing out. Later.